Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. On this episode, we have a musician, Jillian Jacqueline. I've done tons of calls with touring musicians who are dads and interviewed moms before in this podcast, but Jillian is the first touring musician mom I've done an interview with, and for that, I'm really appreciative for her to take the time to do a call with me. With Jillian, we discuss the sacrifices you make as a parent, redefining your creativity, how differently you view your time when you become a parent, how many things she feels she's still figuring out, her love of doing everyday life things with her husband, and her new album, MotherDaughterSisterWife. Her new album was released on October 17th, and you can find it wherever you stream music or go buy it off her website. Jillian also does work with the Family Alliance in Music, or FAM. And since we have so many people on here who are musicians and are part of that community, I want to make sure to take the time to promote FAM as well. FAM is an organization providing advocacy, education, and financial support to parents and caretakers in the music industry. They want to create an industry where those caring for a family and pursuing a career in the music industry can thrive. You can learn more about FAM at FamilyAllianceInMusic.org or follow them on Instagram at Family Alliance in Music. And kind of like how I mentioned before the Austin Marshall episode, FAM is committed to creating a music industry where professional success and family well-being coexist. They are thrilled to announce their second $25,000 grant. This grant will support music industry professionals navigating the challenges of family life. They want to make sure to thank the team at Equalize Her for making this grant possible. The $25,000 grant will be awarded to an individual seeking assistance in one of the following categories. Fertility assistance, for those pursuing parenthood through fertility treatments. Needs-based grants, for live touring professionals facing financial hardship due to family demands. Family caregiving assistance, for those balancing their careers with caring for a loved one. Small business benefits, for small music businesses looking to provide employee benefits that support family needs. The applications are currently open, and the date range for it is October 15th until December 1st. If you are a musician, make sure to go check out the application process for the grant and go to their website or Instagram to find out more. And also just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. So you just asked me how many kids I have. I have 3 kids. I have a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old son. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, full house there.
Pretty much, yes. So,
Wow. We only have one, but
Okay.
I am fascinated by the introducing the new sibling into the one child dynamic, because our son he's almost 4 and the world revolves around him.
Mhm.
And so what is that like to be like, now it's
Oh.
not about you anymore all the time?
yeah. So pretty much whenever we had our first 2 kids, they were 23 months apart. So
Okay.
the oldest one was way too young to like fully grasp it. You know, there's some natural, like, why am I not the center of attention? But with a 4-year-old, they can communicate, they can say words you understand and which like break your heart of being like,
Whoa.
hey.
Yeah.
So I think we more experienced that whenever we had our 3rd kid, because I think our daughters would have been 5, and math is hard as you get older, you know.
Math is so hard.
They would have been
That's
like,
why I'm a musician, because I hated math and science.
they would have been, I think, 5.5 and 3.5. So
Yeah,
the
okay.
older one was starting kindergarten whenever he was born. So she already had a lot of focus on her for that. And then we
Yeah.
had a newborn. So the middle child, I feel like, is the one where you had to be like, oh, she's having big reactions to everything. And then we're like, well, yeah, her older siblings, like, or her siblings, like she has another sibling, her older siblings start a new phase of life. They are taking all of our attention. And we're
Wow.
hoping for our best with the middle one. It evens out, but God.
I am the middle child, so
Are
I can
you?
attest. It's
Okay.
just you're gonna screw it up no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. Yeah. You just go ahead. You know, if you get any extra money, you put it aside for therapy now. And you hope that it's enough
So-
money to cover however many kids you have therapy
It's
sessions.
just
And that's
so-
how you
it's-
parent.
Oh my gosh, it's really that whole middle child thing. It's so real. But like
It
then
is.
both my parents are one of 7. So
What?
like nobody knew where they were ever. Like
Yeah.
they were just like out in the streets at 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny how it's almost once you get past 5 kids, I feel like it's like every man for himself.
Basically, yeah.
And none of those people get therapy because they're survivors. They're just like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
They're like, no, I don't need to talk to anyone about my feelings. No one cares.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm interested too in sort of the premise of this idea that you've probably heard from a lot of different musicians and artists. Music industry is a very, I don't want to say egoic. Well, yes, I do. I want to say egoic and self-centered. You know,
Yes.
our job is essentially, especially now, to sell ourselves as a product.
Yes, correct.
Our personality, it's a brand. And I think parenthood is the antithesis of that, right? Is
Yeah.
the most selfless thing you can do. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure you've heard from many people, and I'm curious what you think about this. The biggest thing for me that has been such a push-pull battle is how to still show up with like the same degree of devotion and desire to be forward facing in my career, while this little person is really requiring like everything from me. I found it very hard to find that like bandwidth in life.
Of course, because like if you are an artist, a creative type, basically as someone who listens to music, I'm looking at being like, hey Jillian, can you have like some pain or something that you're introspective about and help me communicate about my feelings, because I don't know how to on my own, and like then also make money off of that somehow. I feel like you're trying to help people understand themselves through art and creativity. One of them, you have to lead with your personality in a way in which people like you. And the other one is hoping a smaller version of yourself, you can help them figure out what the heck they're feeling in that.
Yeah. And also, early parenthood comes with, I would say, I don't know the percentage on this, but I feel like most women have some degree of an identity crisis with
Yeah,
like
of course.
the first version of motherhood, their first
Yes.
child. You know, music career is so much about building an identity that is infallible,
Yes.
that people can really believe in. And so when that is what you've spent your 20s doing, is cultivating this version of you that people can consume, and then you become lost and unsure of like, am I still that person? Who am I now? How do I sell this version of myself? I think a lot of women that I've talked to, that's been the biggest struggle with the beginning of motherhood alongside career is, I don't really know who I am right now. So how can I tell anyone else who I am? And there's like this black hole of creativity where a lot of us feel like our creativity is put on hold. And I definitely went through some of that in my son's like first year of life, where I kind of was like, am I ever going to write a good song again? Do I even have the energy to put myself into my music the way that I did? And you know, postpartum is not 6 months. It's not 6 weeks. It honestly, it ranges, but scientifically I have heard that it can be 7 years long.
Yeah.
Which is really scary. And I don't really want it to be that long. But now I'm starting to just see it as a journey.
Yeah.
And my husband and I both are kind of on that postpartum journey together, because parenthood, like you're saying too, it's like it really does alter the way that you show up in the world. And like, what does that look like to like suddenly just leave the house and then have to go be this person? And it's really like a very strange learning curve that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. And for men, like I feel like my husband, like there's not a lot of room for the male postpartum experience.
There's not. It's But no, I think regardless, male, female, whatever your role is in like the marriage and partnership, like your identity gets shattered. But like I couldn't imagine going to write a song and being like, is this authentic to who I am? Because I think that's the hope of all creativity, is like, is this authentic to who I am? And then you're like, well, I no longer know who I am because I'm so sleep deprived and exhausted. And like, you don't know what it's like to care for a newborn baby until you have to care for a newborn baby. And in what ways that challenges you. My wife will always tell me I didn't understand what selflessness meant until I had a kid, because I thought I knew what it meant to be selfless. And then it's month 3 of still waking up at 4 a.m. to breastfeed. And it doesn't matter what happened to you that day. You've still got to go do this. And like, there are so many things that destroy what you thought your life was. And then you're left to rebuild it. And there's a lot of beauty in that process. But holy crap, is that a process?
And it is the crash course into whatever you've been suppressing or running from. I mean, it's so easy when you don't have kids and when you're young to distract yourself with things that just make you feel good, or even wallowing in your own self-pity. That is definitely a sport that I have I have partook in that many times.
Gold medalist.
Yeah, fully. Like, and I'm just like, I feel so many things and I have so much time to think about them. And then you have a child and psychologically, physiologically, I felt myself arrested by
Yeah.
my son's every waking moment,
Mm-hmm.
his emotional state, what he needed for his body. It consumed me. And I know about my own personality type. And I think a lot of artists are this way. It's very all or nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was all in. It was like, I really can't compartmentalize. And I did leave him to go on tour when he was
Yeah.
very young. And it was sort of like dissociated. I just like dissociated, and I kind of just I had to in order to survive that experience. And I remember feeling very simultaneously, I was like proud of myself that I was doing something that felt really hard, and also devastated that I had to make a choice that felt so scary and possibly damaging. I remember talking to my therapist before I left for a 3-week tour in Europe.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he going to be okay? I'm
Mhm.
really scared that I'm going to permanently damage my child.
Yeah.
And, they were very kind. And they were like, he's very young. You can do this once. I wouldn't make a habit out of leaving your child for 3 weeks at a time. But I remember as an artist really having to make some of those really hard decisions where it was between an opportunity that I was afraid I couldn't say no to, and also the welfare of my child. And those are things that more artists face than we realize in
Mhm.
terms of like how to keep the career on the tracks. It's a very 24/7 job. And I'm still learning how to do that. He's almost 4, and I'm still kind of like, what does this look like for the next 15 years?
Yeah.
How do I help my family and my son thrive? And also, how do I keep my career moving forward?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
I know whenever you create something, there's such a connection to like the greater conscience, the greater everything that can come from creativeness and like performing, that it's really hard to ever not want to be out there doing it, because it makes you so connected to what you feel like your purpose for existence is. So to suddenly
Yeah.
just close the door on that is like, how do you do that? So I don't think there's an easy answer to any of this. And whenever you're a
Yeah.
musician or creative type, it's even worse.
It absolutely is. I sometimes look at people that seem to jump back into work very quickly after having children like aliens, like, because
Yeah.
they're like, this is my purpose and I love my job. I
Yeah.
also love my kids and they
Yeah.
love their nanny and all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, like I just was not that way. Like I felt very much like I have to succumb to this thing. And I think,
Mhm.
and there's no judgment either way. I think that's
Yeah.
a superpower to be able to just say, no, I need this for myself. So I'm going to
Mhm.
make sure that I still do it. And I kind of felt like I slowly got unraveled by motherhood into like this very, very intentional way of thinking where I was like, I will only do something if it's extremely necessary outside of what serves my family. And also, like, I've talked to many artists about this, and I try to remind myself, it's like you have to be in the season that you're in. And I
Mhm.
think when your kids are very young, it can feel very hard to not compare yourself to other people that are doing all the things you want to be doing. But you have to remember, like, this is just a very short phase, and then they grow up and they go to school and they leave you, and they're always leaving you, really.
Mhm.
And I kind of have started to view my career in the marathon sense of like, these years right now are not going to be like the go highlight busy years where I'm chasing like the bigger dream. I'm slowly inching towards it still, but the dream has also shifted, and I can see much more fulfillment coming later when I know I've given this time of my life the chance to just kind of flourish and grow without
Yeah.
feeling that tension
Of course.
of like, oh, like I want to be with him, but I also really want to be back on stage more. Like I don't really want to entertain that tension anymore. So I'm just choosing to be present in what this is, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, I think like you have a kid and like your definition of like opportunity costs like changes greatly. Like it's really hard for me to go to a movie theater anymore that isn't a kid's movie. Like to me, it'd be like, oh, Christopher Nolan's releasing a new film. I'm going to go see Oppenheimer and sit in a theater for like 4 hours. I'm like, I don't think like that feels so selfish to me. It's not, I don't think it is, but like it changes how everything feels. If I'm going to go to a movie for 2 to 3 hours, that better be a damn good movie. Is how it feels now.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, then I'm just not going to go to the movie because what the life I'm building around here, I value more than whatever that is. And also with the full knowledge of like, I can rent that movie at home like in 3 months. Yeah, I feel like how you view opportunity cost changes drastically whenever you have a kid. Do you feel like that resonates with you, or you view that similar in any way?
I do, absolutely. And when you say opportunity cost, I think what I am hearing you talk about as well is we have, as a culture, become very good at the convenience of satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so convenient to get our whatever we need satisfied very quickly. And I think I'm in the business now of really sitting with dissatisfaction sometimes because I want to have a life that isn't afraid of sitting in those mundane, boring seasons where not a lot of there's not a lot of that, just sort of like, ooh, easy fulfillment. Ooh, that
Yeah.
feels good. I want to do that. I want to do that
Yeah.
vacation, and I think we've kind of forgotten how to live in a way that is not constantly self-serving. And so I think that's why parenthood is, if you're able to do it, the greatest thing you can possibly do with your life because it is going to remove that ease of just I want to feel good right now all the time. And for me, the opportunity cost of it's also just, the word sacrifice is almost like a dirty word in our
Mhm.
culture now. Ew, I don't want to sacrifice my needs. I don't want to sacrifice my happiness. I
Yeah.
want, I shouldn't have to. Nothing,
Mhm.
no one should ever get in the way of me getting what I need.
Yeah.
That is not reality,
No.
especially when you have children.
Yeah.
And I think sacrifice is actually one of the things that human beings are really meant for,
Mhm.
but we almost are it's almost like something we're not supposed to do anymore. And I think sacrificial love is the most incredible thing that
Yeah. Yeah.
you can do for
Okay.
someone.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's not honored, in our
No.
culture now. It's almost shamed. So
Yeah.
that's been something I've really come up against culturally as a new mom. Is sort of you shouldn't sacrifice any of your time or what you feel or what you need.
Yeah.
And honestly, if anyone that's married has been married for a long time,
Yeah.
that that's just part of the deal.
It
I
is.
mean, if your sacrifice is building resentment, that's a
Yeah.
whole other issue.
Different discussion.
Different
Yeah.
discussion. But if it's a love sacrifice, that's what the human heart is built for. We're
Correct.
good at that. People don't want to do it anymore. But I kind of find it honorable, and also as an artist, I think it's really deepened my well of why I am doing what I'm doing at all. Because on the surface, I'm going to admit the first 15 years of my career, it was a very selfish the foundation of what I was motivated by was very
Yeah.
much a
You.
selfish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me. And now, when you kind of see the world a little bit differently, I'm older now, and I'm not just living for myself. I'm the reason why I make music, there is exactly what you were talking about when you're on stage. There's this transcendent communal sort of
Yeah.
energy. And I think that is something that I still really cling to now as an artist, where I'm there's something deeper and more meaningful going on when you share your art, when it's coming from a place of, it's not for love, it's from love, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a very different
Yes.
motivation. And I used to make a lot of music for love, and
Mhm.
now I make it from love, which is
Yeah.
just a different action, and it just feels a lot less charged,
Yeah.
I hope they like it. It's
Yeah.
not that way for me anymore. It's more just wow, I really love this,
Mhm.
and I am so grateful if someone else resonates with it,
Yeah.
you
But
know?
it's like the battle of which validation are you looking for? You're looking for internal validation or external validation. And
Yes.
yeah, in your 20s, all the validation you're looking for is external,
Yeah.
sadly. And
Yeah.
then hopefully in your 30s, you look up and you're like, wait, if I'm not happy with this, then that's what I should be focusing on. Am I proud of this? Do I think this is the best I can do? And how do
Yeah.
I focus on that instead of man, I really hope someone who I've never met and will never talk to likes me?
Yeah.
Why would
Yeah.
that lead
Totally.
why would that lead any of your action?
I know. I know. And there's also this, you know, obsession with youth, especially in the music industry. So we all know the bands that we discovered when we were 15 changed our lives forever. They rearranged our brain chemistry,
Yeah.
and those are the songs that pull us back, and they have a very real, there's like this visceral reaction because at that time we were so spongy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, it was like infiltrating our system and creating this sonic landscape for us to live our lives from. And then you don't really have that same reaction as you get older because
No.
you are a fully formed adult and you're not looking for something to make you feel something the way
Yes.
that you were when you were young. But
Yeah.
there's this line in this Lyra Lynn. I don't know if you know Lyra Lynn. She's
No.
an amazing artist out of Nashville. Her husband's a great guitar player, producer, and she just put out this record, and there's a line in one of her songs, and she's in her 30s, and
Mhm.
she's just talking about how everybody likes the sexy sad songs when you're like 25, but she's like, but what about my really sad, depressing existential crisis at 35? Like nobody wants to hear about that.
Yeah.
But I'm listening, I'm like, but I do. Like I feel like
I'm
it's
here
actually
for it.
really important that like that genre, that demographic, that history, that experience, like I want that present in music because it's mirroring to me what I'm going through. So that's been another motivator for me too. As I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't know, does anybody give a shit about
Yeah, right.
what I have to say? And I'm like, actually, yes. And I think if people keep convincing themselves I don't have anything interesting to say anymore because I'm a parent or because I'm married and I'm not going out
Yeah.
and getting drunk every night, you're kind of missing the fact that there are so many people that are living that and feel very underrepresented in their experience. And then they're kind of going to concerts and listening to these young people talk about breakups and like
Yeah.
all that stuff. And they're like, this has nothing to do with me. So I just, I really do want to keep showing up in that story as well for
Yeah.
myself and being like, where am I right now in life? And how, Lori McKenna is a great example of that. I had never heard a woman in her 40s talk about life at the kitchen sink the way that she did until I heard those songs. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody said it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll commonly watch like Love is Blind or some of those shows.
Yeah.
And just be like, is this how people actually date? Like we're in that phase of life where we're like, is this what dating looks like if you're in your
like
20s?
watching zoo animals.
Yeah, exactly. Judging the hell out of all of them. But like, because you're like, because that's not my life right now. So like, or I talked to another friend and like, I feel like a lot of big moments, big songs are like, you've hit rock bottom, you've messed everything up. Let's do a song about that. And I'm like, what if you're just being steady and stable every day? What can we write a song about being stable and steady and like accepting the love that's around you without needing to be destroyed? Just do it. Like, can someone write a song about that? Because I would hope to believe more people are accepting the love that's around them and being stable and showing up every day, as opposed to the awful night of the soul in which you think you've lost it all. Can we just not get to that point? Can I just accept the love around me today and avoid that whole journey? Because that'd be fantastic.
Absolutely. And like the discipline that it takes to really like stay in your life and like be present in your life. Like that's absolutely like
hopefully common.
Did Radiohead ever write anything about that?
Yeah, right. I feel like Chris Stapleton can kind of touch into that, like acknowledging like the simple moments of every day and the beauty that can come with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why this is also a big discussion of like, do you have to have pain to create anything that's beautiful? And I'm like, suffering is a great way to analyze your life and to cause it, but it can also be a lot of navel gazing at the same time.
Yes. I also wanted to get, what do you feel now that you have 3 kids and they're getting older, but are there things that you really used to love doing that now you're like, I have no interest in doing that anymore and it makes me kind of sad that I don't love doing it anymore? Or is it like, oh, I'm so glad I don't love doing that?
Not so much, because like I'm a late night person, like I'm a night owl, so I'll still like go to concerts and stuff.
Oh, okay. And you enjoy yourself.
I do. Yeah, but also like anymore, sorry if you're still on the opener like set of your career, but I usually skip the openers now.
Totally.
I usually like I'll look up and be like, hey, when does this band go on? They're headlining. Cool. They probably go on at 9. I'm going to leave the house around 8:15. So that way I know everything's settled in the house.
I am not judging that. No. This is coming from someone who, my husband and I have bought like so many concert tickets the last couple of years of bands that we love. And the night of the show, we're like, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Do you really like,
I'm
this
good.
is what we do for a living. But I was like, I came to this realization that I was like, oh my God, do I even like want to go see live music anymore?
Yeah.
Like, am I that? But I also just chalk it up to being like, my kid's 3.5. I'm tired. It's just not the time,
Yeah. I think I try to be in tune with the fact of like, when does music sound the best to me? it's whenever I'm mentally present for the music. So because it's not like, if you're on stage performing a song, like you're doing what you can, you've done this a million times, so like it's me. Like if I don't connect to a song, then I'm like, oh, so where's my mental space? Like if I've listened to the song a million times, sometimes it inspires me. Sometimes I don't realize I listened to it. That says more about me than about the artist and where I am in that moment.
Absolutely.
So I think I try to be in tune with that of like, okay, this album isn't connecting. Okay, cool. Do you want to keep listening to it? Sure, for familiarity. But like today, like when I go to concerts now, whenever I was younger, I would go being like, this concert needs to inspire me and make me think about life differently. Like I was that guy, probably still am.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, oh man, that was a cool guitar part. Oh man, what's their guitar tone? I wonder where their pedal setup is. Like is more where my mind is now. What's something where you're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't ever want to return to that. Do you know what that is for you?
Parties.
Oh yeah. Do you listen to Caroline Spence at all?
Yeah.
Have you listened to her new song, like I'm not going to be fun at parties anymore?
Oh, I really want to listen to the whole record. Honestly, that's something that I'm really trying to get better at is listening
it's really
to
hard.
full
It's really
records
hard.
again.
Yes.
But yes, I think she's incredible. She just had her first baby, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So I need to listen to that song because that's truly how I feel. I am like, I already was like an introvert. I don't know how you say this. I have like about 2 hours in me. And then like, this was just me all through my 20s. I could be on for 2 hours and then I'm like done. So now that I have a child, I literally like have no interest in socializing for like long periods of time. If you invite me to like a birthday dinner party, I'm going to make an excuse why I have to leave like 20 minutes in. I don't love that about myself, but that's just where my bandwidth is right now.
That's fair. Yep.
So yeah, I would say parties. I'm not interested in parties right now.
Yeah. I do. That does resonate. Before the pandemic, I would have been able to sit down, like go to dinner with someone, do that for like 2 to 3 hours. And now like at like an hour mark, I'm like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I think like I'm like, if I do one of these calls and like, someone's talking, it's like hour and a half. I'm like, I'm good. Like I love connecting. I love knowing how people are and where they are mentally, but about the hour 15 mark, I'm like, that's all I had.
Yeah. And I mean, I have so much grace for that though, because I'm like, your entire day is revolving around like these tiny people and like that development. And there's such a bad rap given to like people that want to talk about their kids with other people who want to talk about their kids. It's like, why do you just want to go and talk about your kids? But I'm like, honestly, that is interesting to me now more than something else. Like I can't pretend that I care about like these certain pop culture events or political things. Like I'm like, that's not really where my headspace is at. And so I think when you're going into social settings and you're like, have to like, there was this article, I don't know if it was the New York Times, it came out recently about the fear of being boring. Like everyone has this desire to be super sexy and interesting all the time. And like, if you're not that way, then you're just kind of like, you're not like a valuable human.
Why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, honestly, like that is a load of crap. Like I pick and choose. I'm protecting my peace. And my peace hinges on a lot of quiet and a lot of like recharge time and honestly just like a lot of recalibrating what I find important in life right now. It's just, this is a learning curve. And your kids are getting into their, they'll be in their teens in a few years. Do you think that growing pain ever changes, or is it just a constantly evolving thing?
I think I am a nicer person and parent whenever every single day I'm like, hey, let's just be open to what today has to offer me. And trying to figure that out, because I know like, so I'm a stay-at-home parent. My kids are like in school. My youngest does like half-day pre-K. So it's like, okay, whenever he gets home from school or whenever I go to pick him up, what do I want to do? I want to eat lunch. I want to be able to maybe run an errand or something like that. But then also in the back of my head is like, but what mood is he in? So it's more like, I think just every single day, it's like, I don't know who my kids are going to be every day. And also I don't know who I'm going to be every single day to some extent. Like there's consistent things that you are, but like I don't know if it's a fair expectation to put on someone to expect them to be the same person every single day. So then
that is such a cool thing to hear and such a good reminder for me.
Well, because like honestly, like, hey, like, how'd you sleep last night? What'd you eat? Like, what'd you eat yesterday? How's that affecting you today? There's so much to us every single day that for me to expect my 7-year-old to act the exact same every single day. I think you have your points of reference for how to connect and how to be in tune with someone. But ultimately, I've like, right now, if I was like, hey, Jillian, go do something that's relaxing and inspiring, that'd be different every single day. That'd be like morning you and afternoon you would be different.
Right.
So like we're all trying our best. We're all trying to connect and be kind to each other is like the naive optimism I have to me. So like, hey, you know what? As my kids get older, how do I make sure to meet them where they are? Because honestly, I'm not them, so I can't predict where they are every single day. And
Crazy.
if they share an interest, they share something. How do I meet that? And I don't know. How do you keep a conversation going constantly with small humans? It's kind of like my hope and my desire, and the only way I know to hopefully connect in a way that feels meaningful. If I'm honest,
I am like taking that little tidbit of wisdom with me because
thanks.
I realize you're so right. I'm living with someone who is in the wildest growth period of their lives. Like they are totally going to be shifting and evolving every single day, every single week. And I find that I have been maybe like approaching him as if like, I know this guy, I've got him. And then I'm kind of like shocked when he does something I don't expect, but I'm like, what? Like, why would I'm not going to know who he is in a year. He's going to be somebody completely different.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful for me to hear as a one child mom. Yeah.
When you have more than one, it just reinforces it constantly. Cause like, I always think of like comfort techniques. Like whenever my oldest was a baby, what helped calm her down, my second kid hated. What helped my first and second kid calm down, my third kid hated. So like you have to have this constant, like it's a constant reminder of like, hey, you're different. And who are you today? Like think of whenever you had to comfort your son whenever he's a baby. One comfort technique would work one day, but it wouldn't work the next day or even the next hour. So like I just try to keep that reality alive in my head. Yeah. What worked last hour may not work today. And if I'm pissed that it's not working, that's more about my desire to control and predict things that I don't feel like I can control and predict. So that's reality. Totally. And it's okay that I want to know what's happening and have some form of control and predictability. That's good. That's not a bad thing, but it's not helping anyone in this moment. So calm it down.
Totally. Just try to just go with the flow a little bit more. You know, that really reminds me, we did a podcast. I don't know if you know Maggie Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
But no, we did this podcast a couple weeks ago with her, and it was me and a couple other moms, Caitlin Smith and Lucy Silvis, and we were getting on the conversation of, you know, when your children are very, very little and you have the tour bus and the nanny, it's very easy to take them along, and they're like an accessory to your quest. And they're cute and they sleep a lot. And as they get older and start to establish who they are and the preferences they have, it's going to become, and it does become a lot harder to just tote them along your journey. And I'm very sensitive to that in the way of like my desires for what my journey looks like might not really align with what this person needs as they're growing. He might not really want to be going to different cities all the time, or he might love it. I don't know. You know, or he might not really enjoy going to concerts at 9 o'clock at night because mom has to sing, you know, it might not be something that jives with that person. And so I think that's been like humbling a little bit for me, is like, I'm going to have to really cultivate a trusting relationship with that person that I'm always seeking to think, is this serving you and not just me? Because we all want to have these goals that we're trying to reach, but we also have to leave room for the fact that that might not work for everyone in my circle. So that's been something that I've like you're saying, you want to control and you want to just say, this is what we're going to do and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
And it might not be that way, you know?
I do a lot of like during the summer, whenever all three kids are home and it's just me versus three kids, of being like, okay, cool. Here's our options for the day. You know, like we can either go to the zoo, science center, or playground, or pool, or whatever. Like I try to keep it to 2 or 3, so it's not too many options. And be like, okay, cool. I want to do one thing this morning. Let's do an adventure this morning. So which one of these 3s do you want? And then we just make a discussion of like, hey, which one do we want to do? And if one kid is like, but I really want to go to the science center, I'd be like, hey, we did go this day. And if like 2 of the 3 want one thing, I'm like, okay, cool. So that means that next time we do this.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me that like you are in control. You are the parent. You do have final say in everything. But I do feel like you want to include your kids to some extent. You know, like why would you not make them part of the conversation? If like you're about to go on a 3-week tour and it's possible to bring your son on that tour and your husband, like I think it would make sense to them. Like, hey, I'm about to go away for a bit. I think we can bring you on this tour. Do you want to do that? And like negotiate it that way. And as he gets older, it'll be a better conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. Man, when I did say yes to those tours, he was little small enough that he couldn't say yes or no.
Yeah.
I remember not even entertaining that conversation with my husband. I just
Yeah.
said, this is what I'm doing, which is
Yeah.
like not a cool marriage move, honestly. But
It's
at the
where you
time, I
were.
was
It's where
like,
you were, though. Yeah.
it was where I was, where I was like, no one's going to tell me that I can't do this. Not that he would. He'd be like, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
do it, do it.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, I have to prove that
Of
I'm still in
course.
control. And even though I'm a mom and I have a baby, I can still do all the things.
Mhm.
And it was not me opening up the advisory board and
Yeah.
saying, is this good for all of us? Should I
Yeah.
do this? It was a very like panic driven, like I
I
have to
understand
do
that.
this and no
Yes.
one can tell me I can't.
Yeah.
And I sat with the consequences of it.
Mhm.
There were some good, there was some bad, but
Yeah.
I think it would have been a healthier move for me to say, hey, I have this opportunity. Like, what do you think? Do you think I should do this? And that's something parenthood works wonders. It can either cause a divorce or it
Yes.
can work wonders for your marriage.
Correct.
If both people are willing to keep showing up and being like, are we doing this the right way? Should we try
Yeah.
to do it differently? Do you like how we're doing it? It's really taught us like the open forum
Yeah.
concept in marriage.
Yeah.
And we're both very creative, sensitive people. And so
Mhm.
I think it took us a minute to get our footing on that because we
Yeah. Of
would
course.
react a lot to like
Yeah.
things that felt like, is this infringing on my personal ability to express myself? Yeah. So it's a very steep learning curve, but we are trekking up that mountain.
That's right. Also,
Yeah.
though, I hope you give yourself some grace because I think there are moments that everyone is allowed in which it is like, I'm going on tour. I want my family there. Does that make any sense? That's not what the question I'm asking. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I want my family there because that
Yeah.
connection, I feel like that'll be more connecting and as opposed to just leaving you guys somewhere. Like
Yeah.
I don't like normalizing that. So I'd
Mhm.
rather normalize the chaos of bringing you guys with me because I'm hopeful that that direction leads me to who I actually am. Whereas
Mhm.
just leaving you guys for 2 to 3 weeks, I don't want to be okay with that person.
No.
That
Yeah.
doesn't sound good to me.
No, not at all. And it's I'm kind of trying to still wrestle with like, what does that reality look like now,
Yeah.
the next 10, 15 years of my career? And really, I think it's important to find examples, if you can, of other
Mhm.
people that are doing it the way that looks healthy and inspiring to you. I think
Yeah.
those examples being out there is like so helpful, and that's why social media can be a good tool, is
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you can kind of find those people. Michaela Ann,
Mhm.
she's kind of showing like what it takes to bring your family and
Mhm.
still, kind of show up and chase that dream. And it is definitely a lot harder than what it was when it was just you in the back of a van with a
Yeah.
bunch of dudes just like going from city to city. It's just not the same thing. So
It's not.
I'm trying to stay like hopeful and excited about what the future can look like with young kids, and being an artist that's not necessarily on the tour bus or has the
Uh-huh.
nanny and all that jazz.
Yeah. Do you think I know you're releasing a new album like in a week or two. Have you already like figured out like how big of a tour you're doing or is that still like you're still figuring all that out?
We are still figuring all that out, and I
Yeah.
think something that we're kind of working on right now that we hope can happen with Live Nation is sort of something centered around moms that are artists, that
Cool.
you're not going to do you're not going to do the 3-week run. You're going to
Yeah.
do like Friday, Saturday, back Sunday, and how
Yeah.
to pool resources so that all these people don't have to leave their kids.
Yeah.
And and the truth is like, that's who I want to be on the road with. I want to
Yeah.
be on the road with people who understand that position. And some of my favorite artists and writers are moms. And I think, creating and cultivating that community together and going out into the world together to share our art is a really powerful thing. So I think whatever I do, I would like it to be associated with that
Yeah.
movement as well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of something that we're talking about right now for
Cool.
next year.
Nice. Is that
Yeah.
how much of that is associated with family alliance and music or is that just like I feel like this whole world of like moms actually or musicians saying like hey I want to be around for my kids seems like a newer stance sadly in which people are
Mm.
actually like rallying around it which I'm glad we're here but also I'm like wait why wasn't this a given why wouldn't this be the expectation before
It was just not. And honestly, like a lot of the women in the 90s I grew up on, like
yeah
they didn't have social media, so I couldn't
yeah
hear what their direct experience was. I just
yeah
read
yeah
Country Weekly, and I'd be
hmm
like, "Oh, they're on the road. They have 2 kids." But now we know in hindsight, they weren't really allowed to talk about it because
yeah
nobody really wanted to hear about it. They
yeah
just wanted to look like she can do it all.
yep
And like Martina McBride is doing our event next week called Mother,
yeah
and she's one of those. It's like, yeah, but struggled a lot postpartum, and there was nowhere for her to really share that experience. And so we're very grateful that she's coming to kind of shed light on like, oh yeah, this was like a hush hush thing back then.
Yeah.
And 2025, guys, like we can talk about the realities of the situations. Yeah, I think more and more now it's just really important to let women who are really like embracing the motherhood and the music thing just get rid of the shame. Like get rid of the shame behind like, I can't do it all right now. You know, people don't really want to necessarily like talk about that narrative, but the truth is sometimes you can't do it all at once, and you have to take pauses, and you have to put things on hold, and you have to do things differently. So that's really what the Mother show is about as well, is about saying like, to these young artists who are 25 and they're like, can I get married? Can I have kids? Will I still be sexy? Will people buy my records? Does anyone care? It's like, absolutely, you can, and you should, because that's the most fulfilling thing in life you can do, is to like let yourself love and be loved and like share with people, and don't feel like you were saying earlier, this sort of like, we have to be in extreme pain to make great art. I don't buy into that like at all. And I know that now, because honestly, the record I'm putting out, I'm not just like, I can say this because it's my record, but it's my favorite thing I've ever done. And I really feel like it's the most beautiful, meaningful music I've ever made. And that only happened because my entire axis shifted about who I am as an artist and what my purpose is as an artist. And I'm just really proud of that whole journey, honestly.
That's awesome. And like, I know like, because what's the name of the album? Is it like Mother, Daughter, Wife?
Sister, Wife.
That's right.
Like all one word. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is pretty much you being like, oh man, I'm holding a lot of identities at once right now.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do this? Because that's what, even if you're a parent or not, as you get older, you do get more in tune with the fact of like, okay, now I'm at the age in which I am a father, like I am a father, a son, a brother, and like all these different things. And I'm like, well, how am I holding those 3 to 4 definitions together? And like, depends on the hour. Like sometimes good, sometimes not.
I literally, I feel like I'm still there in the song that is Mother, Daughter, Sister, Wife. There's a song on the record. It's talking about how I don't think I'll never figure out how to do them all right. Like it's going to be a lifelong journey. And that's not necessarily my chronic perfectionism that I'm still healing from. That was like a really big thing for me to say, to just be like, I don't think I'm ever going to be like perfect at any of this. And that makes me feel kind of shitty, but also it makes me feel honest with myself that maybe that's just like the beauty of life, is like I get to keep learning and I get to keep messing up and saying I'm sorry and trying harder. And those roles. And I actually really love like that you're showing up authentically in this stay-at-home dad role and showing like, I really am so tired of like just the cliches that we put on men and women of like what they care about and how they operate. And like, it's just so nuanced, and people are all so different. And the way that we juggle all these things requires so much of us all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, you know, we could talk about the village, you know, everybody talks about the village, and it's like, we are learning how to be that and somehow thrive and not just survive. And your take on like it's hour by hour, I think I'm still working on that, you know. I'm still working on the hour by hour.
I'm a big believer of the advice that you give, or the whatever you give to other people, is because you desperately need to be reminded to do it. So like, I'm not saying that to be like, I'm good at this. This is like, no. Later today, whenever we've just finished lunch and my son wants to watch a show and I want to go grocery shopping, and I'm like, no, I want to do what I want to do. Calm it down, man. Like watch the 30-minute show, then go. It'll be fine.
Oof, that's a tough one for me.
The efficiency monster is still real in me, and it lives daily. But it's more just that. Anytime anyone gives me advice, my thought is always like, how much did you need to be reminded of this today also? Because that's what community is to me, is like, I'm not just saying this to hope that you take a lesson away from me. It's also to remind myself like, hey man, this is the standard you have for yourself. Live into it today.
Wow.
Actually be this today, because living with hypocrisy of self is exhausting. So don't do it.
Oh my goodness. That is amen. That's some wisdom right there.
Man,
No, I think, are you and your wife like goal setters, like as a family, or no? Are you just kind of like, let's just see how the next month goes?
My wife is very much a goal setter. I am not. So I am much more, let's take it. So I would like to think that means we balance each other well. where she's like, hey, go do this, let's accomplish this. And then I'm like, cool. Like if you give me a plan, I work the plan really well. But I'm also just like, let's just chill, let's see what happens, just figure it out. I know what I can do if I need to. So I think my wife pushes me to set goals. And I think I encourage her to be like, hey, but also make sure you're enjoying it as you do this. Because I think you can be too, I need to do this, I need to do this. And honestly, if I'm real, some days I am goal oriented, other days I'm not. And it's just trying to like realize like, hey, today you want to get a lot of stuff done. What does that mean? It means you need someone to help you with your kids, because your kids will deter your ability to be the efficient monster you want to be today, because they're children.
Yes.
They're children.
Also, what I'm hearing you say a lot, which I also really like as a takeaway, is like, there is this seems to be this human need to define ourselves, or to define our personality types, or define our patterns, or how we operate. And I think there's like honestly something terrifying to me about when you're like very fluid with like, oh, some days I am, some days I'm not. I'm like, oh God, like, but I honestly want to like be more like that, because I think that there is this weird obsession with like, I am this kind of person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm like actually I fluctuate all the time. And I think that's where we get tripped up, because we're like, wait, why am I like this? I thought I was more like that person. Like, this is a stupid example, but 2 years ago, I would go to the paint store, pick out the swatch, go to the counter, say, I want this color paint, and I would paint the room that day, and it'd be done. Now, I put the color sample on the wall. It sits there for 2 months. I think about it a lot. And then I go to the store and I buy the paint, and then the paint can sits in the kitchen for 2 weeks. And then I paint the room, but it takes me another 3 weeks to paint the room. And it kind of like tripped me up when I was like, what's happening to me? Wait, I used to be so like productive. And now I'm like, you're just a human that you are just ebbing and flowing, my friend. And that's okay. And we get so obsessed. Even me using the chronic perfectionism thing from earlier, I'm like, that's a label I decided to assign to myself, a past version of myself that maybe isn't even correct, but maybe I think that it makes me seem a certain way. So I say it, because now I feel like I really don't want to hold myself to this weird standard. So this is very enlightening. You know, I'm learning that we can just I guess it's the title of the podcast is very, very well suited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the, man, as you get older, you just realize how many opportunities there are to give yourself grace. Yeah. And then it just constantly makes you aware of what expectations you had for yourself. Because like, if you want to use like painting a room as an example, in that scenario, if I find myself being more efficient to paint something, get a house project done or something like that, like then that's more the opportunity for me to look at my life and be like, hey, I really want to get this done today. Can you help me get this done? Like I want to make it communal, and not like, but also like I'm very much like since I have little kids, if it's in front of me, then I'm probably going to do it in that exact moment. So a lot of my desire to get stuff done is more just the reality of like, all right, I've got 2 hours. I either do it now or I don't do it in a month. How will you feel as you do that? I'll feel like crap. Cool. Yeah, do it today then. Some of it's self-preservation, if I'm honest.
Yes, absolutely.
But like really though, like if as I get older, what I hope to find besides community is people who define the world similar as I do. And once you find someone who shares similar definitions to you, where you don't feel like you have to explain yourself constantly. Why do you label yourself as a recovering perfectionist? Because you want people to understand you. You want people to be able to connect with you, because connection feels nice. So as I get older, the more people I find where I don't have to feel like I have to say who I am as a definition more and more every single day, I just want to hold them closer. I just want to be like, please don't leave. Please don't go away. I just did all the work of opening up, doing what to me feels like vulnerability to let you inside my mental space. And I don't want to do that again. So if saying I'm a recovering perfectionist, hey, I've dealt with shame. Hey, I've dealt with this. Lets you into my mental world more. Awesome. By the way, I'm not that every day. I hope that's known.
Yeah.
That's it. Especially with like parenting. Like, hey, do we define kindness similar? Because when my kid's around your kid, do we define kindness as the same thing?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, because that's not a common definition and everyone views it differently. So I need to know how you define things so I know how to encourage it or tweak it whenever my kid comes home late.
Or never hang out with you again.
Hang out with you again.
That is such a real thing too, is the parenting, friendships as a parent.
God.
Everything changes. And you guys moved from different states. I mean, there's like a whole host of things that come with trying to make friends in your later years when you're not later years, but like your 30s and 40s. It's just a different thing.
Established years. Yeah.
Yeah, established years. It's not the same as you going out to the bar and just like shooting the shit with your friends and you guys all hang out and talk about stupid stuff. It's like, no, you're looking for genuine connection. And I do feel like more than ever in our our world, friendship is something that people are really struggling with too, like genuine friendship. And I don't know how you feel about that as a stay-at-home dad. I mean, I'm sure you have like playground pals that you guys, you hang out and whatever. But like the friends that you're like, okay, all the kids are in bed and like I really want to like connect with somebody or I want to go to a concert with someone, like, finding those people. I feel like men too can struggle with like
without question
or the vulnerability of like, I really want to like have a really like a solid best friend. And I do too as a woman, but especially as a mom, as a new mom, it's like, am I only hanging out with you because our kids like each other, or can we really connect? And so that's a whole other world.
I think in that moment, you just try to be in tune with what connection you're looking for. Like if I'm walking down to the bus stop to drop the kids off at the bus stop and I'm talking to other dads there, and that I try to know within myself, today am I desperate for a really good, genuine connection? It's probably not going to happen in the 5 minutes of the bus stop, man. So know that your desire to connect and know people is beautiful and good. So how do you channel it? So I'm very big on, I grew up like in a Lutheran school system, which to me, some religion has a lot of shame and guilt associated with it.
Yes.
So a lot of my work of getting older is a lot of like, hey man, actually your intentions are good. Let's figure out where you need to put your energy. Because a younger version of myself would be like, I want to connect with people. Why would I want to connect with you? And you're like, oh, that's mean to yourself. You should never tell 38-year-old me is like, you're really mean to yourself. Be nicer.
Yeah.
So that just, what do you want? Like your intentions are good. So let's figure out the action that lines up with your intention is so much of getting older. And hopefully it leads to authenticity, whoever you are and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
None of it's easy.
No, you're right. None of it's easy. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm tired anyway. So
Yeah. But also, like, for talking about opportunity costs, whenever you get older, it's like, all right, if I hang out with this dad and we do or a parent for an hour, are they a good hang for that hour? Or are they, or like 10 minutes in, and am I like, oh no, my kid needs me. I need to make sure they're okay. I need to walk away from you.
It's so real. I know. And I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm in that place where I'm like, I really just enjoy hanging out with my husband and my kid.
That, though, is so beautiful. And like, if there's one thing I hope this podcast helps people understand is like, it's okay to love your family. It's okay that your family energizes you. Because I don't think that is portrayed enough of like, oh, you got home from a long day and you were energized by being around your husband and your son. Hell yeah. That means you're building a life you want to be a part of. And that's great.
Know, right? I love that. And I also feel like I'm not like a historian or anything, but I would say that like historically this pressure on us to be social people a lot of the time is like very new. And I think most of the history of time, it was very much like you go do your job and then you spend time with your family, and then you go do your job, you spend time with your family. And like, I think it's all well and good that we want to like hang out and make connection, but I also think there's like almost a pressure to like, and like date nights and like going to do all these things out in the world. And I'm just like, can we just chill? Like, I really just feel like I need more time to just enjoy what I've built. And exactly what you said, like, I really love what I've built and I want to enjoy what I've built, you know?
Have you guys done the date night yet? Because you feel like you should do a date night to connect, and the entire time you're like, why are we doing a date night right now?
Honestly, no.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Because whenever our kids were young, I feel like we'd have people be like, you guys need a date. And we're like, sure, we'll watch your kids. And I'm like, all right, cool. I guess we'll go out to dinner and like stare at each other because we're both like, oh, we're tired. And like, it's good to still have that connection. It's still a good thing to do. But like when your friends are like, you need a date night or anything like that. And you're just like,
I know.
Okay. I mean,
and you're like,
I understand what you're communicating and you're probably not wrong. But then you get out there and you're like, I would have actually, if we could just stay at home and like watch TV and not need to respond to a kid, that would have been the ideal date night. But how do you ask people to come to your house and sit in a different part of your house while you watch TV?
I know. Oh my goodness. No, we've like pretty much failed on the date night front. And this is like, we don't even feel bad about it. We go out for like good, like we go out for birthdays and anniversaries. And then like our version of like a fun date night is like I get excited when he has time in his workday to like go do an errand with me. And I'm like, yay.
Cool.
Like I love hanging out and just like going to do like mundane things like that. To me, with just the two of us, that's like a date. But like the forced, like we have to go out and have this nice dinner and like talk to each other and feel romantic. I don't
That's hard.
Yeah. No, I mean, we went to see Coldplay, and it was like the first time in a while where we were like, whoa, like this is fun. It's like fun to
Yeah.
just like go out and like do something. And Coldplay is like, it's a cool experience. Like it's a
Yeah.
great show, Chris Martin's a great frontman, but we were there and we're like, oh yeah, we do like going out and like doing things just without our kid, so it's a good reminder. We'll probably get there later on down the road, but no, I do not subscribe to the forced date night.
Good. I'm glad. Well, I mean, because to me, if I'm willing to do boring stuff with you, it means some part of me feels safe enough to not feel like I need to impress you.
Yeah.
And to me, I view that as such a sincere form of love. If you're around someone who's like within a healthy way, like, hey, I don't feel like I need to be like fully something for you to like me. Like I think we can go to Home Depot and wander, and that'll be connection. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, because there's no dopamine hit from that. There's no like super exciting moment. So if you can find connection and just going to Sam's Club together or something like that, then to me, you must like each other,
We really do. And I think it's just this novelty now of like when we're just alone with the two of us doing anything when our son's not with us, because we really enjoy being with him too. But when it's just us, it's like, oh, hey, it's just you.
I like
and
you.
Me. Like, I really like you. And we also have a unique situation where, well, maybe not that unique for Nashville, but this is his studio. So
cool.
Like he works from home. He's a mixer and a producer. So that door leads to the kitchen, and we see each other all day, but it is all day as parents. And so I think those moments where we just get to like, hang out almost like we're dating again, like we're just like going to do something mundane, and it just feels like, oh my gosh, like immediately I remember like I really just like hanging out with you.
Yeah, just being around.
Yeah.
So. And that's awesome. So I'll probably start wrapping the episode down. Great. Unless, did you want to talk about your new album at all? Sometimes I get to the end of the episode and I'm like, we touched on it a little bit, but I feel like this is still a fun conversation. I'm like, oh crap, I should have made sure you talked about your album more.
Really enjoyed this conversation. I think honestly, the album itself touches on so much about well, it's thematically, it's about this journey, the last several years of motherhood. So I feel like this is all very appropriate.
Sometimes like...
these are all the themes on the record.
That's what I figured.
I
assumed how you were talking about your creative energy and where you are creatively in your life, but all of this probably shows up in songs throughout your album.
Yeah,
cool.
It does. Yeah.
Sweet.
So go listen to the album.
I will. Yes, I already did. Your publicist sent me like the whatever, so I did listen through it already.
Cool. Yeah, and there's like fun. Like there's a song called Cult Classic that's like a love song. It's like a lighthearted, it's that's about sweet. Your partner. It's about loving the one you're with. So
that's awesome. I also, as someone who studied, I went to Belmont. That's how I ended up in Nashville.
Okay, cool.
And studied like audio engineering stuff. And I'm like, oh, your guitar tone on your acoustics is really fascinating. What type of strings do you like? I went into that mode.
I love that. Yeah.
So I will not.
We did the old classic. We did a lot of Rubber Bridge on some things.
I thought you did.
Then,
okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the hot move now.
It is the hot move. Thanks, Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessner, but that's fine.
Well, honestly, I feel like no one's going to say this, but I feel like this originated like, I have a lot of, my brother-in-law is in Nickel Creek, and he is an amazing.
Wait, who's your brother-in-law?
Sean Watkins. And so he lives in LA. And I do kind of feel like, maybe the Madison Cunningham, Phoebe Bridgers era, like those people over there kind of brought it back. And no, they're not getting the credit. But like, I do feel like the LA cool kids, and then, now Taylor's using it. But I feel like it started.
So I just want to point out that you, I know Sean plays the guitar, but you're just going to casually overlook that Sarah Watkins is your sister-in-law then? Is that correct?
Well, by default, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be. Have you listened to her kids' album?
Yeah, we love it.
Good.
It's so good.
It is fantastic. That's
he
awesome.
and Sarah played on the record too.
Did they really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how we end every episode is I ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They're kind of like just like fun icebreaker questions. So, and it's not rapid fire. You have time to think about it. So the first question is, did you have any backup names for your son? Like, did you have any names that you almost named him?
Well, if I have another boy, I'm afraid to say, but I'll just tell you.
Okay.
Well, the 2 that we like, so his name's Rockwell, and the 2 that we had that were my favorite were Rufus and Rigby.
Rigby, are you a big Beatles fan?
We are, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything, we just liked those R names, but they didn't make the cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But not Ringo? Ringo isn't on there?
No, not interested in Ringo.
No
Although my
drummers.
son, his favorite Beatle is Ringo. Yeah, I don't know. He has can you see his drum kit back there?
No, I
It's a
can't.
tiny drum kit.
It's so cute.
Yeah, he jams out. We're really trying to tell him that Ringo always wears headphones because you don't want to damage your ears. And he's not having it. So he's banging so loud. And I'm like, this child's eardrums are going to be shot by the time he is like 5. I'm like worried about it. But
can I just tell you that the playful fibs or lies that you create for your children to try to protect them is one of my favorite things ever. Like, Ringo really wore a lot of headphones whenever he was 4 and hit the drums. And he's like, no, he didn't. And you're like, he really did.
I need to Photoshop. I mean, I'm sure I need to find a photo of him wearing the headphones and just put it on my son's wall so that he will wear them. It's very hard.
Do you think your son would understand if you just found a picture of a child behind a drum set who looked slightly British? Do you think your son would be able to say, like, Mom, you and I both know this is bullshit and that's not Ringo Starr? Do you think he would be able to say that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Yes. Yes, definitely.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I'm a horrible liar. Yeah. He doesn't buy it.
I think that's an okay fault to have, just so you know.
Yeah. I like that about myself. Yeah.
You should. Okay. Next question. Do you have a favorite TV or movie mom? If you don't, I have backup questions also, just so you know.
Oh, I mean, I can just say, like, this is so silly because it's not like she's not like a quintessential mom, but from Game of Thrones, like the mom that dies, like the good one in the beginning, she and her husband are like the good people. They're like the parents of all the kids. Do you mean
Catherine Stark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch that much TV, but like she was cool, I feel like.
What about for like a book? Did you read like any book growing up in which like there's a mother figure in a book?
Absolutely.
You're a book person. Good to know. Okay, good.
My favorite book of all time is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And
I've never read it.
It's amazing. It's Betty Smith is the writer. My grandma gave it to me and I literally read it once every like 5 years. But the daughter is the main character. Her name's Francie Nolan and her mother is like the quintessential, I would talk about sacrifice. She is like, she keeps it all together for her kids and she's the best mom in a book that I've ever read about.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will have to see what the wait list on that is for Libby because I do audiobooks now as a
cool.
Because if you hand me a book to read it, it'll take me 3 years to read it.
When do you listen to it?
At night. My wife usually falls asleep on the couch. It's like 9:30 or 10 or so, and I will stay up until 11:30 most nights, and I can do audiobooks at 2 times speed and comprehend it. So I'm a monster. Yeah, I have some efficiency monster in me, and I'm not saying it's a good thing.
It
kind of sucks like this. Sometimes you can understand it, sometimes you can't. If it feels like I'm not really paying attention to it, then I don't really pay attention to it, and then I put it down to 1.5 speed instead. That's kind of like the mode my brain works at sometimes.
That is maybe like the quirkiest thing I've ever heard.
You're welcome. It only gets quirkier, okay? So
fascinating.
Have you ever tried a book at 2 times speed?
No, I don't do audiobooks that often. Yeah.
I respect your comfort level with your desire just to be like, let's go slower. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here?
Totally.
What are we doing?
Yeah. I think I'm really trying to cling to like reading the actual book,
Yeah, you probably comprehend better than I do, and probably it sticks in your brain more than mine does. So
yeah, back to defining ourselves. Someone recently asked me, "Are you a realist or an idealist?" And I had to really think about it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I am an idealist."
I'm an idealist.
Yeah,
I am. That's why. Yeah. Anyway, that's easy to get into the discussion of expectations versus reality because that's the struggle you have constantly as an idealist.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God.
Okay, next question. This is my favorite one to ask parents, but I don't ask moms it too much. What's your go-to replacement curse word? Like whenever you stub your toe or something like that and you don't want to curse around your son, but it hurt that you stubbed your toe. What do you say instead?
Shucks.
Shucks?
Yeah, because I start with the shit and then I end up, shucks. Yeah, and there was something I said the other day, which made no sense, and he started laughing hysterically. It was like, "Oh, schnookies," like something stupid like that. He's like, "Schnookies," and
that's
now
not a thing.
No, it's not a thing. I made it up. Yeah, no, we actually get really. My husband gets very irritated if people come over, like friends that don't have kids.
Yeah. Oh,
and
God.
Even some that do, and they just are dropping. Like we had a friend over yesterday dropping the F-bomb, and my husband was like literally on the 5th time, he's like, "Man, Can you not?
Stop
Because
it.
we've worked really hard to get rid of our sailor mouths, and you cannot come up in here and start saying this stuff, because I don't think it's cute when kids curse. I actually don't like it.
I think a lot of parenting has moments where am I willing to deal with the consequences of this later? Do I want the phone call from my kid's teacher saying, your daughter said the F word today?
Yeah.
I don't want those I don't want to have that moment.
No.
And if that means you just don't say the word at home, you got other options.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever someone else comes over and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, dude, even if the kid's not physically in the room, they're behind that wall. So
they are hearing it.
They're going to ask me questions later. And now I got to figure out answers for them. And there aren't going to be answers that are positive towards you. So stop it.
Yeah, and I've also totally the stubbing the toe thing is very valid. We all can't help that. The curse word comes out. But I generally now believe that cursing is just basically laziness. There's a full English vocabulary that you can use to express yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're just dropping curse words, you're just kind of being lazy.
Yeah, you phoned it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Second to last question. What's one of your favorite things to do with your son? Favorite toy, favorite activity, something like that?
We love reading books.
Cool.
Nerd alert. We read a lot of books. He loves books. We go to the library. Maybe one of my favorite things is going to the library to return books. He likes to put them in the slot where you return. He takes each one out of the bag and very carefully returns it. And then we go and pick out new books. That's a favorite. What else do we love to do? We really love this is so cliche Nashville, but we have a lot of family jam sessions. And
that's awesome though.
Watching him we mistakenly turned him on to this band called Turnstile. And I say, do you know Turnstile? So, and I say mistakenly because the lead singer, we watch some of his YouTube videos, and he's very much a screamer. But it's not heavy metal anger, but it's just no.
It's passion.
It's passionate. But when a almost 4-year-old does it, it just sounds possessed, demonic. He's no, Adam! And he just will do it over and over again. And so my husband's I think we made a mistake, introducing that, because my son wants to be the lead singer now. And so we started having these jam sessions, and he would just scream the same line over and over again. And I was oh, okay. Yeah, we need to be careful let's go back to the Beatles. Let's go back to some Thomas the Train, We literally seesawed so hard the other way. We're classical, put on classical music. We were in the car the other day. We're going to listen to Mozart. And now he's just can we listen to something else? And I'm no, we love this. This is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's really funny, how formative what you choose to play in your house when your kids are growing up. I mean, that's literally why I moved to Nashville to make country music, was because my mom had on the 90s country radio when I was a kid. That was it. And so you have a lot of power with those choices that you make, You
do. Okay. Last question is there as you think of your son's life and experiencing it with him, is there a moment of his life where you're just man, I can't wait until you get to this point. I can't wait until you get to have this experience yourself, or anything like that?
Well, I mean, when I go into future Rockwell in my mind, I see him. I studied abroad in college, and I loved it, and it was such a cool travel experience for me, and obviously got to travel a lot with music. But when I see him when he's older, when he leaves home, I'm so excited for him to travel, and I hope he loves to travel, because traveling for me was such a it just shaped me in so many different ways. And I think when I think about him growing up, I really hope he really falls in love with exploring the world, and I hope he feels confident to go out into the world and explore the world, because there's so many amazing things to experience. And I got to live in Thailand for a few months, and Vietnam, and I just remember being so blown away by we're all on the same planet. We have the same hours in the day, and this person they have all the same components in their body that I do, but their reality is so different to me than what mine is at home, and they're just living their lives. And it's just I think it's one of the most amazing things that you can give to somebody, is the love to travel and the ability to travel. So I see him in my mind, he's 18. This is me projecting, trying to control his future.
I understand.
But he's 18 or 19 or 20, standing on some mountain with a backpack, and he's just loving life. And I'm I want that for you, man. It's so great. It's so beautiful. So that I would say it's that. It's not necessarily anything I can't wait for him to graduate high school or whatever. I don't I don't even know. We're still kind of figuring out, are you going to traditional school? Are you getting homeschooled? Like, we're kind of trying to figure all that stuff out. So who knows? He might have a very unconventional life. I don't know.
I think travel is also like something that that answer resonates with me also, because like traveling to different countries and different cultures is a great way to like feel small but connected at the same time. Because you are like, oh man, this is what my normal is. This is nothing like your normal. And we're still figuring it out. We're all in this together. Let's do this.
Yes. Yeah. It's the most beautiful thing. Nothing else can really replace that experience in terms of really seeing what humanity is about and how we're all, like you said, we're all connected, but the way that we show up in the world can look so different.
So different.
It's just so cool.
Yeah. And it always feels so hippie saying that, but I'm like, I mean, I'm out here in Colorado. You're there in Nashville. You're trying your best. I'm trying my best. Let's lean into the fact that we're all trying. And
absolutely. Yeah.
Offer some grace and some love, and we'll probably be happier afterwards.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And also just, traveling, well-traveled people, some of them are pretentious and some of them are like the most humble people in the world because your mind is open to many, many different experiences and how people live their lives. And so anyway, that's what I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then last thing is just moment for self-promotion. If you want to be like, here's how you follow you, your socials. I know your album comes out like
October 17th. The album comes out October 17th. Instagram is at Jillian Jacqueline. And it's Jacqueline, the very complicated spelling of my name. What else? TikTok, I think, is the same thing. Or maybe it's, I don't know, Jillian J Music. I'm not great on TikTok.
You're good. What do you have like a general website where we could go to that and then go from there?
JillianJacqueline.com. Easy to find. Yeah, go check it out. It's I would just say, like, I think if anyone out there is in that space of life where you are in that very uncomfortable growth period of figuring out what happens next in life, this record is for you.
Nice.
It's reflective, but it's also, it's reflective, it's introspective, it is hopeful, and it's also just very honest. It just feels very honest to me. I know a lot of artists use that word and it's kind of badgered to death, but it does feel like my most honest music to date.
That's awesome. Only other thing, whenever we did this in Nashville, I would do a baked good for anyone who came on the podcast. So if you are out in Colorado, Denver area or anything like that, just so you know, as a thank you for coming on the podcast, I will figure out how to get you baked goods. I can drop it off at the merch table or something like that. Just as a, hey, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. So just as you plan your tour and you're like, we need to stop in Denver, just know that's why.
I love that. Do I get to make a request or no?
You do. You can. Yeah. No. I take in dietary restrictions.
No dietary restrictions, but chocolate.
Chocolate? Okay. What's like if you think of a chocolate baked good, what type of chocolate baked good would you go for?
Brownie.
Okay. So when you talk about brownies, the first question is, are you cakey or fudgy? What's your brownie style? Yeah, always. Why would you ever do a cakey brownie?
Yeah, and I need a way to make it like warm so that I can eat it with ice cream.
I don't know if I can do Alpha mode is not on the I said I do a baked good
with you.
We'll see. No, I cannot at this point in time. I'm not willing to commit to the mobile microwave life.
That's fine. Whatever. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But sincerely, thank you for being willing to do an episode. Thanks for talking about the reality of being a parent. And I really appreciate it. And thank you a ton.
This was lovely. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great conversation. Appreciate it. Appreciate you shouting out the record. And
Of course. Okay, cool. Sweet. I'll see you next time.
Bye. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Imperfect Dads Podcast, and make sure to subscribe and rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to us, such as Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. The music is provided by The Wild Feathers, and all episodes are produced by me. Make sure to tune in Mondays for new episodes.